Plaintiff Jonathan Haney and his girlfriend Heather say they started dating after Heather separated from the defendant. And when the defendant found out, he started falsely accusing Jonathan of abusing his children. Jonathan suing the defendant for attorney fees and bail. Defendant Timothy Keaton says he caught Heather having an affair with Jonathan while they were still married, and he believes Jonathan abused his children. Timothy's countersuing for emotional distress.
Start with you.
Your Honor, Timothy Keaton is my girlfriend's ex-husband. I'm basically sick of the harassment that we receive. Obviously, he's not over her. How long have
you been with her?
We've been together 1.5 years.
Okay, how long were they married?
9 years.
When were they divorced?
They just now got divorced.
When did they separate?
They separated last year in February.
And you all began dating 6 months later?
I caught you guys at the house March 1st at 1:38 in the morning on a house I was paying $900 a month for. That to me doesn't seem like you guys were dating after my divorce.
Might have been. They might have been reading the Bible. No,
she asked me to stay at my brother's house for a week, and I forgot something in the van. I have sleep apnea, so I went back to the house to get it. His car's parked in the driveway. So I went back to my mom's house, and I got the camera. I got my brother, so I had a little bit of evidence. And when I get back there to the house, she was supposed to go to the movies with her friend Julie.
Which was there?
They did go to the movies. She come back to the house, took me to my brother's. When I come back to the house, she was still there with Julie and John. And I told my brother, I said, if Julie's car leaves first, we're going to have some issues. And lo and behold, Julie's car leaves. I heard him because I was sitting around back. I had a stethoscope on the back window. I was listening to the conversation.
you were watching too much Cheaters.
Call it what you will. But, I'm trying to protect. I'm trying to protect my family and my livelihood, right? So,
he never comes out.
He never came out. Well, I went back up there, and we were sitting there. We were looking through the front window, and I'll tell you, she had a Snuggie on, one of those Snuggies in the arms, sitting there, and she's cuddled up next to him on the couch. When I knocked on the door, that Snuggie ended up by the door. That sounded to me like she had something to hide.
How did that end? That incident?
Well, I come in through the door, and I said, "Get the out of my house."
What did he say?
He left.
What did she say?
She told me that they were just friends and they were watching TV. Well,
had he come over to watch television prior to this incident?
I had never met this man until that day.
You had never met him until that night?
No.
Is this true? We'll get to the attorney fees that you're suing about, but is this true?
Well, yes. We were just friends. She was
sitting up in that woman's house on his couch. You don't know him.
In a Snuggie.
Like you say.
And I'm sorry, sir. When it comes to me, anytime you go behind your man's back at 1:38 in the morning when he's sitting at somebody else's house and you're sitting there with another man past a certain time, whether there are intentions or not, that is cheating.
That's a lot of friendship, that's for sure. All right. Anything else you want to tell me about the nature of your association with him or anything else background before I go to him?
Well, about that time when they did come, when he did have his brother, they both threatened me as I was leaving the house.
Well, that's to be
expected. Let the air out of his tires so he couldn't leave.
He didn't cut your tires?
No.
He didn't break the windshield?
No.
Okay, well, you got off lucky.
Well, and some good stuff come out of this too, I was almost 500 pounds last year, 488 pounds. Now I call this a divorce diet. I recommend anybody who wants to do it.
Okay, divorce diet. All right.
I'm down 364 pounds, and I've met this beautiful young lady right here.
Right.
Who is, she's helped me through one of the roughest times in my life. And, this all started out bad from the beginning, because I even asked her, I said, do not bring this gentleman around my kids. They're not ready for this. There's a certain amount of time that a kid needs to adjust. And they couldn't even respect that.
Your witness wants to speak. Would you like for her to speak at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Step up. State your name.
Mariah Williamson.
What do you want me to know?
I'm his sister, first off, and he's throwing stones because of their relationship, but yet they were together before any of this happened.
You're saying that he did what she did?
They were doing, yes, they're doing the exact same thing.
So she was in your house.
No,
at 1:30 in the morning.
Not my house.
On the couch with Snuggies.
Hey, Snuggie,
You said you did the same thing. So let's move on. The lawsuit, tell me about that.
Well,
Why are
I've
you suing?
received numerous police reports stating that I'm abusing the children, and I happen to have a report here where they had retracted it. 2 days later, the child went up to the police station and retracted it.
Okay, let's see that, please. And so you want him to pay the attorney fees because you believe he filed a false report against you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Saying that he did what she did?
They were doing, yes, they're doing the exact same thing.
So she was in your house at 1:30 in the morning.
Not my house.
On the couch with Snuggies.
Defendant Timothy Keaton says his ex-wife is dating the plaintiff, and he claims the plaintiff not only threatened his life, but he also abused Timothy's children.
Go ahead, sir. How do you want to respond?
And what was, I mean, I have the same police report right here. Police report was not retracted and was not done by my son. And as a matter of fact, I have this is a letter from my son Reese and a letter from my son Blake that have described what has happened to them. It's in their handwriting. And
tell me.
Well, my son Reese last year, and this was on the 20th of May, he come home from school and he says, Mommy brought John around me and John pushed me up against the fence because I wouldn't give him basketball. Well, I did what any normal father's going to do. I'm going to go file a police report. And then she jumps on me about it. You didn't talk to me first. 2 weeks later, May 9th, Mother's Day last year, he comes home 6 p.m. that night. She drops him off at my grandmother's house. And Reese comes in and says, I can't hear out of my right ear. Why? John yelled in my ear so loud I can't hear. Had a problem hearing for a week. I call her to ask what happened. Before I get it out of my mouth, he yanks the phone out of her hand and he's going to rearrange my face. He's going to bash the windows out of my mother's house.
Who said that?
This is coming out of Mr. Haney's mouth. I have the police report right here, witnessed by my mother. I even let him know that he was on speakerphone and my mom was listening. That is why he was arrested, because of disorderly conduct.
The son says that he was never touched by John while at Keno Park. Reese told his dad that he made it up because he wanted his mother and dad to get back together. So he didn't act maliciously because he just wanted to have something done to you. He acted on the story that his son made up. Sir, were you charged with disorderly conduct?
Yes, I was, and I was bailed out the same day.
All right, and what occurred?
Because when he was calling her, threatening her that day, I had enough. I took the phone, I told him I was going to rearrange his face, and he called the cops on me, and later on that night, I was arrested.
All right. So why should he pay your attorney fees? Maybe I'm missing something.
Because each time I had to pay for an attorney, the first time, this time, he did not show up in court, so they dropped it. And then ever since then, I've had numerous...
So what did he do wrong?
He didn't show up in court when he was supposed to.
All right, that's wrong?
Yes, Your Honor.
I would tell you that he did you a favor by not showing up and testifying against you. And what I'm hearing from you amounts to malicious prosecution. And that means that he intentionally made up a story to have you arrested when there was no probable cause to do so. But there was probable cause. By your own admission, you threatened to kill the man.
Yes, Your Honor, I did threaten him.
You were supposed to go to jail.
Yes, Your Honor,
And
I did
he
threaten
didn't
him.
maliciously have you prosecuted because of what you allegedly did to the son. If my son told me that you had abused them, I would call the police.
It could have went another way, too.
And ask the police to come and restrain me. And if someone threatened to kill me, I would call the police. Or I would strap up and be prepared to defend myself from the murder. Your counterclaim for $2,000 is for emotional distress. How does he owe you for that?
Well, sir, you know, when you got your kids coming to you, we're afraid of this man. He's yelled at me. He's hit me. Not all of them went to the police. And I'll get to you, too. Okay, my son, and this right here is proof. This is court documented, recorded, that the judge found that my son Blake was smacked behind his left ear.
Let's see it, please. You want to point the page out?
It is right here in here.
Right there.
Yes. Okay. And there's also another portion in there that states that my son is afraid of this man. And as far as Miss Mariah over there, we were at court the last time. And my son's getting a drink out of the fountain or I think he was messing around with the ATM machine. And she said, come here. I have no problem, verbal. I don't expect you to be a doormat. She grabbed him by his hand and yanked him down to the floor. I had to stop her and my mother from going after him. And if that's the way a kid gets treated in their family, I don't know if I want it around my kids. Yeah. And I feel I have that right. Yeah. That is why I'm going after the emotional distress.
What I'm hearing from you amounts to malicious prosecution. He made up a story to have you arrested when there was no probable cause to do so. But there was probable cause. By your own admission, you threatened to kill the man.
Yes, Your Honor, I did threaten him.
You weren't supposed to go to jail.
Defendant Timothy Keaton says his ex-wife is dating the plaintiff, and he claims the plaintiff not only threatened his life, but he also abused Timothy's children.
Sir, you want to respond?
The way I feel is because of the fact he can't get his way in court where we're from and have control over the kids' mother, he's going to take it out on me.
I don't want control over her. I want control over my kids. This is about my kids.
He's taking it out on you that you threatened his life. He's taking it out on you because his son told him that you hit him. He's taking it out on you because the judge believes the same thing.
That is a lie, Your Honor. I did do that to him, but I would never, never raise my hand to a child.
Well, the judge
It was done on an in-camera, Judge.
And the judge believed him?
Your Honor.
You want your witness to speak?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Mm-hmm. He has documents from Facebook to where Mr. Keaton has put on Facebook the things he's going to do to Jonathan. He has a letter from his attorney stating that even his attorney felt like he was being set up in this situation.
Okay.
Excuse me, my kids
I'm not going to let my children be in a house where somebody's going to abuse them.
You did it.
I go hire a babysitter.
You know what?
They go stay with my mom, my grandma.
They did the same.
Ma'am, be quiet.
They go stay with my mom. They go stay with my grandma. They go stay with my upstairs neighbor who is in nursing school. So he's not alone with them.
Why can't he be alone with them?
Because otherwise there's further accusations and I don't want to deal with it.
Okay. Do you expect that there would be accusation?
There always will be because he's a drama king.
All right.
I'm not the drama queen, sir.
Is drama when someone threatens to kill you, where admittedly
he's threatening to take my kids away.
That is not an appropriate response. Thank you for your testimony about what they've done to each other. That is not atypical. However, you must be held accountable when you threaten someone's life and you are arrested for disorderly conduct. So the attorney fees that you paid were because you needed an attorney because of the things you did. So your claim is dismissed and yours is granted for emotional distress, $2,000. Have a good day.
I'm not a bad parent. I'm not going to let somebody just abuse my children. I'm tired of it all. I want it done.
The bill will be done when he keeps his hands off kids.
His hands are not on our children.
My hands were never on them kids. I would never abuse a child. My brother has a daughter, and
okay, that's your daughter.
It doesn't matter.
Two
I would
kids,
never
two
put my
different
hands
times,
on my
same
brother's
story.
child.